There is a channel that I like. It's called The Soft White Underbelly. It's a YouTube channel in the US. It's very popular. So once they had this lawyer on, he's a divorce lawyer, right? So he was talking about divorce and all this kind of things. And he was giving an example, this story of his. So one of his clients, this lady, he was helping her through a divorce. And during a break in the court proceedings, he asked her, when did you know that your marriage failed? When did you know that it was over? So she told a story. She said, it all started with something called a granular bar. I think I'm getting the name right or right. It's let's just say it's like a protein bar, like stuff like that. So she liked that at home. She would always eat that with her yogurt. And her husband would always fill it up when it's going low, right? And he would never ask credit for it. She would never have to tell him that it's on low. He would do it by himself, and she said when she saw the whole supply of it being replenished, it made her feel good about herself, right? It made her feel loved. It made her feel cared. But one day when it was low, it wasn't refilled. So she said maybe he missed out. So what she did, she put it in a more prominent area, and she finished it. So it was empty, but he never filled it. So that was when she knew that things are bad. Things are not going to go well. Then the lawyer asked her, how about on his side? So she said that during their marriage, she used to perform oral sex on him at any random time. In the morning before he went to work, she would perform oral sex, and he would throughout the day text her, feel happy, and really be in touch with her, right? And one day she stopped. She just stopped. So this lawyer was saying that at the end of the day, it wasn't anything complex. It was granola bars and blowjobs. That was what it was. So my question is, when we see divorce cases on the rise, when we see marriages break up, when we see relationships break up, is it that the answer to this lies in the simple things, that it's the small things actually that make a major difference in a successful marriage?
Because you're having a commitment, which is a very huge part of your life, right? Which is like a very big thing.
Yeah.
And then you're living your dream, right? So those two are very big things. But what makes the connection is the intimacy, right? It's the small, intimate things you do it together, right? So for her, what her husband is doing for her is so important. So whatever the blowjob, whatever she's giving, she see it as a doing. So she wants the doing. But her husband is always being, right? He is experiencing it, and whatever that he's feeling, he's reciprocating. So this is the part is really happening these days. So even for the divorce, the reason could be she always wanted to be in the knowing.
Okay.
Which is she's always in the mind. The husband could be in the body. So the connection of relationship itself comes between the body and mind, which is connecting with the heart, right? So instead of judging by a granola bar or judging by or blaming herself, saying that I didn't do it, that's the reason it stopped. But they both could have talked about what is their future dream. It's the part of it, whatever the certain relationship plus the uncertainty makes the relationship interesting and meaningful.
Definitely, yeah.
Right? But that uncertainty, she didn't want any uncertainty in her life because she's always counting on the love, but she don't see that he's being the love for her.
Nice.
How can you count love? You can't count love. You can't count love based on the material things.
But maybe she when seeing the whole depleting granola bars, that was a sign that he stopped caring. Could that be that?
So all these places, we are talking about only her perspective. But who knows about the husband's perspective?
Of course. I championed that, buddy. I'm on your team.
Right?
Yeah.
So, which is like we always empower women saying that, oh, they have been through all this, all those challenges they're being through. Yes, truly agree. Everyone goes through their challenges. But what is that on the other side of the perspective? So we are trying to conclude a story within one perspective.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So what if that husband would have felt so hurtful that if I don't give a granola bar to you, you are able to end my relationship and end my marriage itself?
I mean, like
Isn't it-
judging based on gestures. I think judging based on gestures is more like still we are all of us becoming a psychologist.
Yeah.
Living in the
Actually,
mind
actually, it's
and-
not only gestures.
Mhm.
Like we are labeling it as a gesture, but if you notice, it's more of like a physical thing which relates to money.
Whatever material things.
Measurement things, it's kind of like it's a measuring where whatever you're measuring, it relates to money. And the other part is which is sex, which is like in whatever we talk about, right? Money is the competition energy. Sex is overly doing is lust.
It's two extremes.
Two extremes, right? So the balance is in the middle. Either you're in a competition energy or you're in the lust energy. So the answer, the love is in the middle.
Okay.
And when you're in the middle, that's when you will elevate yourself. If you both are not in the middle, she's always going to see him as a competition, and he's always feel that he doesn't get love. So we don't know who's in the middle, who's on the other end. We don't know yet.
Okay. Now, so that's a nice segue. We can go into the topic of divorce, right? We talked about it earlier as well. Is divorce the healthy option, particularly considering only, let's not talk about cases where there's abuse or there is, cheating or anything.
Inhuman, yeah.
Just normal relationships. Is divorce the healthy option? I'm going to ask you. Purposely.
Good chance.
Divorce is an healthy option, or it is an unhealthy option. Even though yes, I made the decision, it is an unhealthy option, because when you are going to separate yourself from a relationship, you are going to go through a loneliness phase. So when you are going through a loneliness phase, we are a human being. We always love to live in a tribe. So especially when you are making a choice of divorce, it's more of like you are pulling yourself out of your tribe itself, right? Because nobody is going to support you. Your own father and mother is not going to support you. And whoever you think your friends are not going to support you. And you are going to be very lonely, right? But it's the value what you're going to get after that. Do you really know this is the real dream you wanted to live? If you're able to answer it as yes, it's a healthy option. If you don't know, it's no.
It's not a healthy option.
It's not a healthy option.
Okay. Now, I want to ask you then, as we know in Malaysia, divorce cases have been on the rise. But I think in last year, 2022-3, I think it's sort of plateaued. But why are divorce cases so prominent today as opposed to before?
There is again two possibilities.
Okay.
Right? One is unhappiness, which we can have it in the other extreme, which is like treating someone inhuman, where they have to come out from that and speak for themselves, right? On the flip side is the knowledge that we are gaining these days in our just a click away. It's like very easily coming into the mind and saying that this is all red flags, you better get out of it. Or this is all green flags, you better try to grasp to it. Don't stop. So the knowledge, whatever we are gaining right now, may or may not be relevant. Like even whatever we are sharing right now, it doesn't going to be applicable to everybody on earth.
Of course.
Right. So it is very easy for them to access or tap into something and then just let themselves taken out rather than working together or growing together. So the option is there. And on the flip side, we cannot also label it as a wrong decision. What if on the other side it's a good decision for them to grow? It's like they can still live a good life being not committed and living under the roof, but being a friends, or they can be happy for their other relationship, things like that. So somehow rather we can't comment on it, but we can accept the fact that someone is choosing to live their life either together or separately, but not harming each other. And one of the main another reason is intimacy gap. Like I said, on the men's side, on the women's side, there is a lot of intimacy gap when it comes to how romantically you're going to connect. So as he said, women or men, when they come from perspective of responsibility and money to be there, then they don't know how to experience. Now, okay, I already love you, I got married, I got baby, now what? What are we going to do? So if you already know what
It's
you're
not
going
that
to do,
they will say that what are they going to do?
yeah.
They will find a like they already committed to a relationship. Your kid is crying, your kid is unhappy about things. Is not that it's going to define your worth, and they don't know that. So they always come from a place of like fixing your kid or helping your parents, helping your
Find a
all
problem and
find
solve
the
it.
problem, all the problem around them. It's like a very like when we are coming to this podcast, there was rain. Instead of seeing it as it's a rain, we tend to see it as it's a big problem. I cannot go to this podcast. You know how I made it? I am a survivor, right? Everybody goes through a survival stage in life, but are you growing out of survival? That's a key. That's a key part. So, and the women trying to lose themselves in the part of survival, but they don't recognize that they already feeling fulfilled. They don't have a space in it actually within them
Okay.
to feel the fulfillment.